Wonders never cease in Shortland Street. Sarah sees Owen through new eyes.
I'm going to try and keep you warm. Let me, please. The same person, the same doctor.
How can you say that when I'll never hold a scalpel again?
Jonathan.
What are you waiting for? You got a conference to go to. Leave me alone and enjoy it.
Hey, where's the boss man?
Gone for the day. There was an unsuccessful resus attempt. A young guy. Owen kind of didn't handle it, and Sarah kicked him out.
Kind of didn't handle it.
We should have called time of death, but he wouldn't. He seemed to take it really personally.
Remember when he first got here, that patient of his who died in surgery, you had to talk to the family?
Yeah. And that one was an MVA as well.
Owen tried to hide it, but he took that really hard too. Dealt with it by pushing through a double shift.
Well, not this time. We are stuck with Dr. Forrest for the rest of the shift.
Grand.
Right, what have I missed?
Aren't you taking the rest of the shift off?
Absolutely not.
But Sarah said...
I'm the head of this department, not Sarah Potts. I'm going to send Dr. Forrest home, and I'd like everyone else to carry on as normal. Thank you.
Knock, knock.
Callum, hello. Come in.
How are you feeling, Gloria?
Oh, frustrated. I hate being stuck in bed.
Well, at least the company's not too bad, eh?
The company's especially good when the company has an agenda.
Me?
Well, this is about the CEO position, isn't it?
This is about me seeing that you're okay. And it's about the CEO position.
Thank you for your honesty.
Never been anything but honest, Gloria.
I heard about your meeting at the DHB this morning. So you want to reapply for the job?
Something like that.
So I have to tell you that Rachel McKenna is now in the running.
Thought you might be, which is why I need to clarify my position.
Oh?
I'm not so much applying for the CEO job as demanding it back. I was wrongfully dismissed, and I will fight to prove it if I have to.
You're going to take us to court?
I'd prefer not to. It's an ugly, expensive, time-consuming option.
And the alternative is?
I'd like to plead my case directly to the DHB. No lawyers involved. I'd like to do it this week, get it over and done with.
That's a big ask.
I know.
But since I'm just as keen as you to see this matter settled, I will try to persuade my fellow board members. On one condition.
Name it.
Owen's always seemed completely in control to me.
He wasn't today, honestly. I don't think he should be back in there.
I'm not the one you need to be telling.
Hey, what's up? Not wanting to be a stirrer, but I was pretty surprised when Owen came back to finish his ED shift.
Yeah, you're not the only one. But he swore that he was okay and there was no way I could stop him.
Right.
You said you didn't think he should have come back. Was he performing badly?
The opposite. He was pushing the punters through, acting like nothing had happened. But he was really tense, and we were all on eggshells in case there was a repeat performance.
So it's become an issue of staff confidence.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me know. I'll look into it.
Hey, good turnout.
Yes.
Hope everything runs on time. Rachel and I have to be away by 6. Childcare issues.
You'll be back tomorrow?
Of course. No way am I missing this picture.
It'll be reassuring to have a friendly face in the audience.
Well, Jonathan will be there, won't he?
No.
He didn't feel like coming.
No.
Everything's okay, I hope.
No. I think I may have made an error in pursuing a relationship with Jonathan.
I see. Any, particular reason?
Yeah, thanks to his condition, he has bouts of depression and sudden mood swings. And I thought I could help him with all that, but I can't.
Right.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
How was Gloria?
As well as one can be with a fractured pelvis.
You know what I mean. You undid all my good work, I suppose. Talked her out of backing you for CEO.
Actually, she did most of the talking. and she's convinced me. I've officially put my hat in the ring.
That is the best news I have heard all day.
And people seem to be making a move to the main auditorium for the opening speakers.
Where's Jonathan?
He decided not to come.
Because...
He preferred to stay at home and indulge, I think is the word, in extreme self-discipline.
Gabrielle says Jonathan has been very moody.
Well, that's understandable, isn't it?
To you, perhaps, but not to me. I've decided to terminate the relationship. Excuse me.
She really is a heartless piece of work. Honestly, I don't know what you've been saying her.
Hi. How was the rest of your shift?
Nothing to report.
So you coped?
Of course I coped.
Oh, and I think you need a formal debrief.
Thanks, but I'm good.
Come on. You're old enough and wise enough to know there's no shame in it, especially after what you
With
just went through.
respect, we've already talked this thing round and round.
Hardly.
Do you know what you could do for me right now?
What?
Get off my case so I can get clean and get a beer.
This is a professional discussion. There's no need to be rude. And the mere fact that you just were goes to prove that you're stressed and there's some pressure
You're
there.
right. I was rude, and yes, I'm stressed. I lost a young patient today. Of course I'm stressed.
Good.
But talking about it anymore will only make things worse. So thanks anyway for the offer.
Hi. Sorry.
It'd be really great if you didn't creep into rooms like that.
Sorry. I'm going into the kitchen now. Getting a coffee cup. Just putting the kettle on.
I also don't need the running commentary.
Sorry. Do you want one? A coffee?
No,
Still upset, aren't you?
I'm fine. You don't have to worry about making allowances for me anymore. I've called a cab. I'm going home. It's a good chance I won't be back.
Why? Because of your fight with Gabrielle? Well, one argument doesn't mean it's all over, Rover.
It wasn't just an argument. It's stupid to think I could be in a relationship with anyone. Selfish and stupid.
Why? Blind people are allowed to be in love just as much as anyone else.
I'm not just blind. Screwed up here. So angry at everything and everyone. No one should have to put up with that.
Well, shouldn't Gabrielle have a say in that?
She did. She left. She won't want me back.
You don't know.
I know, okay? I know that life isn't always pink and fluffy and happily ever after, and I know the frog doesn't always get the girl.
Not if all the frog does is whine about being a frog. Yeah, it sucks that you're blind, and it sucks that you can't be a surgeon anymore, but that's all on the outside. On the inside, you can be whoever you want. Gabrielle's prince or some slimy, warty, disgusting frog. It's up to you. Not that you are warty and disgusting. Sorry.
Half an hour later, I got the call. It's all on for tomorrow morning.
Wow, that's fast.
Well, I asked for a quick action, and I know exactly what I want to say.
And given what's happened with Shane, I'm sure they will be more than receptive to your version of events.
Actually, they want more than just my version. As a condition of hearing me out, they want other people there as well, including you as current CEO and someone who worked very closely with Shane Tucker.
Well, no problem. I am more than happy to tell the world what a manipulative crook that guy was.
Thank you, Sarah.
So, who else is invited?
Chris and Rachel?
They're the ones who got you fired.
DHB want to find out if their opinions have changed.
Well, that's not fair. Why would they? Chris doesn't like you, and Rachel wants the job for herself.
Chris I can't speak for, but Rachel, I told her weeks ago that Shane set me up. I wrote down every detail, but she didn't want to read it. And you know why? Because by then she'd been shafted herself and she knew I was telling the truth. When we were together, she had a conscience. And I'm relying on the fact that she still does.
Very interesting, I thought.
Except the boring bits. Some of those speakers need a lesson in making their speeches less dry and medical.
Taking notes, Dr. Jacobs. Less dry and medical.
I'm not saying fill it with bad jokes, but honestly.
Gabrielle, you okay?
No, I couldn't concentrate in there. I kept wanting to leave and phone Jonathan.
Why? To tell him he's dumped.
It would seem logical, but when I imagined myself doing it, I realised I didn't want to.
Meaning what? You've changed your mind?
I believe I have. Very unexpected.
Are you going to call him now?
I want to see if he's calmed down.
Look over there. Oh, here she comes.
How does she look?
Pretty.
No, I mean her mood. Does she look happy to see me?
Oh, well, if a massive smile on her world means happy, then yep, she's pretty stoked.
Jonathan.
I've been a miserable git. I'm sorry. Can we just forget that this morning even happened?
Given my excellent memory, that would be difficult, but I am willing to disregard the emotional outburst.
Does that mean I can stay?
You can stay.
Oh, yay, I'll just go get his bag.
My round. Same again? Great. Yeah, sure. Brilliant.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
So, in a way, you are having a bit of a debrief.
Just a few beers with some colleagues.
Whatever you want to call it.
That's my round, excuse me.
Look, Owen, getting loaded after a tough shift isn't really going to help.
Note to self, find a bar a bit further away.
I'm speaking from experience. You chuck back the booze, forget about it all, and then the next day you walk into work, but it's all still there, only worse because you're seeing it through a hangover.
You always this much of a nag?
Only when I'm worried about someone. Look, if you want to talk, I'm here and I'm available. Well, actually, I'm having an early dinner with my son, but I can send him home with takeaways. What do you say?
That was Gloria. You and I have to front up to a DHB meeting tomorrow morning and give testimonials about Callum.
That was quick.
It clashes with your presentation.
Oh.
I can help you take notes. Oh, hold on.
It's all right. I really only wanted a friendly face in the audience, and now I have Jonathan.
Should we grab a drink?
Sure.
Lead the way. Damn Callum, why doesn't he just take a hint?
You wouldn't fight for your position if you thought you'd been wrongfully dismissed?
We were part of his dismissal, remember? We put the case together for Shane Tucker.
And we've never heard Callum's side of the story, not in any detail. Maybe he thinks if we do, we might change our mind.
If he does, then he's a bigger moron than I gave him credit for. Come on, let's go.
I wasn't going to be a doctor. At school, I had my heart set on engineering.
Wow, that's quite an about turn.
Yeah, well, 6 months in a spinal unit will do that. I was 17. I was in a car accident, a bad one.
Yeah?
I don't remember anything about the actual accident. 1 minute we were sailing along, with music blaring, and then Matthew said something to me, and I turned, and the next thing I remember is headlights, and I was upside down hanging from my seatbelt. But my mates weren't wearing seatbelts. Matthew was already dead, and the other two were in a lot of pain.
Are they okay?
We couldn't move. We couldn't get out, and no one found us till morning. And by then, Mike and Billy were gone too.
Oh, and that's a terrible story, but it's not your fault. You were the only survivor. Like you said,
I was the one driving. I was distracted.
Yeah, for a split second.
They should have been wearing seatbelts. That was on me.
And you've been beating yourself up over this for how many years?
Well, mostly I'm okay. I decided to go to med school so I'd have some control over life and death. It still comes down to split seconds, making the right decision, being focused, and that's why I don't stand for any slack on my ED, ever. Some people don't like that, but I don't make any apologies.
Have you ever counted up how many lives you've saved? How many people you've actually helped?
Well, none of it counts when I see a kid like I did today. It hits me again like a kick in the guts.
Well, it's good you're talking it through. And if it happens again, then
It won't happen again. I'll make sure of it.
We're going to have to listen to him bleating on about how hard done by he was.
Chris, I'm not gonna lie.
Pardon?
Callum's allegations against Shane might be true. I have to admit that, even if it means missing out on the job.
Might be true, so there's room for doubt. Do you admit that too?
Yes, but...
Shane has fallen from grace because of his treatment of his niece, but we can't let that cloud our judgment or get in the way of what we know is best for the hospital.
I just want to tell the truth.
Well, the truth is that Shortland Street needs a leader with vision and intelligence, and that is not Callum Mackay, it's you.
I can't think like that. It's wrong.
Well, then, think about what it was like when Callum was in the driver's seat. Is that what you want for the staff and the patients and the community?
Maybe not, but lying to the DHB...
No, not lying. Erring on the side of caution. There's a difference.
Jonathan, is everything all right?
You tell me. Is this thing on inside out or anything?
No. You look very attractive.
You know, I'm really glad I came here.
And so am I. But you haven't said what changed your mind.
Well, I had a bit of an epiphany this morning.
Explain.
I finally realized that I have to accept that my life in medicine is over.
Not necessarily. You can always teach.
No, I can't. That's why sitting through all these lectures this evening was so important. I had to know I could do it without any regret or bitterness.
And you did?
Yes. And tomorrow I'll do some more. And hopefully, as I cut the emotional ties to that part of my life, a new direction will present itself. You know, inside, there's this whole other Jonathan that's just waiting to be set free.
So you're saying you have undeveloped skills or interests?
I must have. Want to help me find out what they are?
I don't know what that will entail.
Trial and error, disappointment, lots of frustration. I imagine my temper will get away from me every now and again.
Right.
But I swear, I will do my utmost never to take it out on you. That is, if you decide to stay with me. I've never been in love before. Not like this.
I have. That's how I recognised the signs. Otherwise, it'd be very confusing.
Well, obviously, you're not as shallow as I am, or selfish, or vain. I've been called all those things.
It's interesting. I don't think of you like that at all.
Well, that's because you never met Dr. Jonathan. Or gay Jonathan. You just met injured, then blind Jonathan, who, despite his tantrums, is a much nicer person than the other two.
It's the second time you've done that. Separated yourself into 3 different identities.
I've done it all my life. I was sure my metamorphosis was complete with Dr. Jonathan. I adored him. He had everything. Well, until he needed neurosurgery. You know, I never told you this, but I was terrified of that operation.
It's a normal reaction. The risk of failure was very high.
But do you know what my biggest dread was? Blindness. It was always my nightmare. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Do you think that might be your problem? That you frightened yourself into hysterical blindness?
And haven't I done a masterful job at it? Complete self-sabotage.
No, this is good. Now that you've got this far, we could call the psychiatrist.
No, it won't change anything. That's the other thing I realized. The more I dwell on being a frog, the froggier I get.
I don't understand.
What I mean is, I have to stop trying so hard not to be blind. I have to focus on something else and just be patient. I'm sure it's my best hope for recovery.
All right. So where do you want to start? Musical instrument, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Morning. You're here for the DHB meeting, right?
Yes, we are.
I just let them know you're here.
Good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Even though we're missing the conference, Gabrielle's presentation.
I really appreciate it, Chris.
And I'd really appreciate it if you drop your bid for reinstatement.
Chris.
Why would I do that?
Because you're the wrong man for the job. Even if you can convince the DHB that Shane Tucker got rid of you for his own ends, the most you should be asking for is compensation. Take the money and go where you can do no damage.
It's good to hear you admit that Shane Tucker orchestrated my exit, Chris. That is the sort of thing the board needs to hear.
I didn't say that.
I think you did.
Will you two stop bickering? You're embarrassing yourselves.
Who's bickering? I am looking for justice.
And I'm just looking out for this hospital. You're not CEO material. You never were. So do the decent thing and step aside.
And what do you know about doing the decent thing, Chris? You're nothing but a spoiled little rich kid who takes what he wants when he wants it.
Stop it. Have you forgotten where you are?
Excuse me. They're ready for you upstairs now.
So there you have it. Dates, events, conversations, facts. Shane Tucker set me up. I was never guilty of anything.
Thank you, Callum. Take a seat. Sarah, what's your view of the situation?
I don't trust Shane. He's proved himself to be unethical, dishonest, and self-serving. I believe it's very possible he twisted facts and manipulated people in order to oust Callum and take the CEO job for himself. My vote is with Callum.
Thank you. Chris?
I was one of the people that Shane supposedly manipulated in his quest to get rid of Callum. All I can say is he had a lot to work with, and it was very convincing. Whether it was Shane who twisted the facts or Callum, who has done it today, I can't be sure. My vote is against Callum.
Thanks. Rachel?
When Callum was dismissed, Shane promised me the CEO position, but he lied to me. That doesn't mean he manipulated me into helping him get rid of Callum. The truth is, I don't know. And for that reason, I have to give Callum the benefit of the doubt. My vote is with Callum.
Jonathan? Jonathan, where are you? Hey, what are you doing? What's wrong? What's happened?
I can see.
Next here on One, if it seems too good to be true, well, you know the story. Al deals with a miracle cure in today's Doctors.